Welcome back. All right, news of the day video for all you fine people on the internet for your Thursday, August the 21st. And starting off at the top of the board, Frank Nazar has signed a long-term extension with Chicago. Now, there will be some who don't like this contract because Nazar's numbers this past season, not fantastic, right? 53 games, 12 goals, 14 assists, 26 points. But if you watch the Chicago Blackhawks down the stretch, and if you've watched Nazar's game over this first couple of seasons, which have not featured him being at the NHL level for a full season yet, I'm thinking with this contract, he's going to be at the NHL level for the full season this year. But the cap hit on this is wonderfully specific as well, according to Puckpedia. $6,599,991 is the cap hit. So it is a contract which has a 20-team no-trade clause that kicks in for years 6 and 7. So that's a ways down the road. His entry-level contract is still in effect for this season, and this contract kicks in next season when the salary cap's going up quite a bit. Chicago does not have any cap issues. I would think with Nazar signed, next up, you got to get Bedard signed. I would think Bedard's cap hit will probably be in the same region. Maybe a little bit higher, sure, but both of these forwards are going to be key players for the Chicago Blackhawks to come out of this rebuild that they've been in for a while. Nazar, though, really fantastic player. Nice to see him getting paid. So let me know your thoughts on this contract in the comment section below, as always. So the league is apparently doing their European media tour at this point. They're in Milan, and I know this because Elliot Friedman said he's in Milan. And of course, they're in Milan ahead of the Olympics for 2026. Watch for a heavy dose of promotion for the Olympics this year, along the lines that the NHL has never done previously. I think we're going to get Olympic everything all the time. And I think once we get into January, it's going to be even more. It's just going to be every 2 minutes, it's going to be this guy had a really good game. Is he going to get named to the... Oh, maybe he'll be a last-minute addition to the Olympic team. This guy got hurt. Who's going to replace him at the Olympics? It's going to be the whole conversation. As much as Four Nations dominated the conversation this past season, well, the Olympics features every country, so there we go. And it should be very enjoyable as well. Good news, Connor Ingram of the Utah Mammoth has been cleared from the NHL/NHLPA Player Assistance Program. So all the best to Connor Ingram. The Utah Mammoth had the depth in net just in case he wouldn't be able to come back for the start of the season, but it looks like he will be. So I would expect that Ingram will be part of that tandem with Vejmelka again, but we'll see what they do. And the Utah season preview is 4 days away. So, once we get to that Utah preview, that should be kind of fun. Discussing what Utah's goaltending and just that team's going to look like. But a lot is expected of Utah this year. I feel like while in the East, the Rangers are the one that is expected to jump up into a playoff spot, Utah is kind of seen as being in that position in the West. So getting Ingram back should help. Augusta. This is great news for Augusta, Georgia. They were yesterday granted an ECHL expansion team that will start play in the fall of 2027. Now, interestingly enough, their social media account on X features the color red predominantly. Red, looks like there's black, there's white, so maybe those are the colors Augusta's going to go with. Maybe it's just a placeholder until they have the team name decided, but at this point it just says Augusta Pro Hockey. So, ECHL expansion, this will bring the ECHL to 32 teams. Of course, the ECHL one level below the AHL, and so you want to have 32 teams at both levels. This opens up more jobs for players, and I much appreciate the ECHL players. These guys might make $500 in a week. Like, it's not great money for the guys at the ECHL level, and more jobs being created by this expansion. That's why I have so much respect for those players as I do, because they are honestly going out and playing the game, and they're playing it at a level that it's still tough hockey, and they're not getting paid anywhere near as much as those in the leagues above them. Team Canada General Manager Doug Armstrong kind of had me scratching my head a bit this morning. So in talking about the goaltending for Team Canada, he talks about how he has full faith in Jordan Binnington. And I understand this. You know, Jordan Binnington, when they needed him to come up with a big game, he did. Previous missteps in the tournament get forgotten when you go out in that big, gold medal game and you get that victory. But what's interesting is talking about the goaltenders who were invited to this Olympic tryout, which is Montembeault, Hill, and Binnington, of course. He says that there are 8 or 9 goaltenders who are on his radar, and that he's contacted other goaltenders who are not at this camp, at this orientation camp, to let them know that they're still on the radar. So does the invite not necessarily mean as much as we thought it did? Because to me, if you weren't on the invite list, it's like, okay, so you're probably not on the list of players who are going to get to go. I'd be very surprised if Doug Armstrong picks goaltenders that are not part of this group. I think it would take an injury for that to happen. But I guess he's been in contact with these goaltenders. I as well am wondering if Logan Thompson's amongst them. I would say Mackenzie Blackwood's definitely going to be on that list of goaltenders who have been contacted. And so we'll see how that all turns out. But it does look like Team Canada, if you're concerned about a snub, maybe don't be so worried. If the player has a really good season going, maybe they do end up on the Olympic team after all. So good news for the Minnesota Wild, I think, and their fans as well. Marco Rossi. So we knew that there was radio silence between the Minnesota Wild and Marco Rossi dating back to June, where they just hadn't had any communication. So there's nothing ugly going on. There was no exchange of numbers where one side felt that the other side was crazy and none of that sort of stuff. But apparently the extension talks have kicked in again. And so it does look like they're progressing after a stalemate. We're seeing movement towards a potential extension for Marco Rossi. Bill Guerin did say that the plan was to keep him and that there wasn't really a rush necessarily on it. So we'll see if Rossi is signed prior to training camp. There's been all kinds of trade rumors about Rossi all summer too. I understand why, because there was definitely discussions that maybe that relationship was broken between the player and the team. But if they get this extension done, who knows? Then he falls into that same categories like Bowen Byram. Is he on the market? Is he not? Would be the question. And we'll see. But Rossi had a pretty good season. I think he's going to be a solid player going forward. I could see him being in that 70-point range every season as a forward. So those players are not necessarily easy to replace. Not easy to acquire either. And so we'll see what happens from here. Does he extend with Minnesota and then get traded? Does he extend with Minnesota and then Bill Guerin does a press conference to say he's not going anywhere, we're keeping him? We shall find out soon enough. So San Jose. So I like to focus on these teams that are doing these little programs. So I'm focusing here today on San Jose. They're hosting Give Hockey a Try. It's for kids ages 4 to 9. This is on September 13th. This is on Sharks Ice. It is open to the public for 2 sessions. And the good news, too, being the gear is provided to these little kids to borrow. So it's ages 4 through 9, and you just show up. They let your kid borrow equipment, and this is a great way to get them on the ice, a great way to get them to learn the game. It's not just about, getting them ready for, playing at a higher level or anything. It's just get them familiar with the game. I think that makes them more likely to watch it on TV, more likely to appreciate what these players do. Because I think what gets forgotten sometimes is you have to be a great skater to be a great hockey player. And so there's multiple skills that are involved. And some other sports, not necessarily. You could be great with the bat in baseball and not a very good runner. So maybe you're not a good fielder either. So they just, you have the DH role there. And I mean, there's definitely examples in other sports too, where you don't necessarily have to have as many skills in your skill set to make it at a pro level. I think with hockey, I think it's very, very difficult because of that skating aspect. Then you've got the hitting, then you've got everything else. Like it's a lot you have to learn. So it's nice to see kids getting a chance, that it is a situation where the gear is provided to this child when they show up, whichever kid you bring, and pre-registration is required, because of course it is. You can't risk having thousands and thousands extra more than you can serve showing up. So pre-registration is required. So look at the San Jose Sharks social media. You'll find the links for all that. And it is a great way to teach kids about the game. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. I'm wearing Hawks gear for this because I like the Nazar extension a lot. I think getting him signed for this period of time at $6.5 million, almost $6.6 million, obviously, I think that's great. And if Nazar develops, you've got yourself one of the best bargain contracts in the National Hockey League. I could be standing here next summer talking about bargain contracts, and Nazar's contract ending up being number 1. But let me know your thoughts. Hit like and subscribe in the event that you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.